on the rise and Cushing inventories declining. Those were more powerful price drivers today. Also, the dollar index back on the move to the downside. And the CPI data this morning showing that commodities will prosper because when we see inflation, traders tend to use these commodities as a hedge. Session high today, 60.65. Session low, 58.20. Back to you.
All right, Jackie, thank you. Let's dig deeper into the oil market and opportunities therein. Mike Kelly, senior analyst at Seaport Global Securities, joining us now. Mike, are we in, I don't want to use the word permanent for anything, especially the oil market. However, are we in a relatively permanent $55 to $65 range for oil in your view for the next months, quarters, years?
Yeah, hey Brian, thanks for having me on. And you know what? If I was offered that 55 to 60, I'd hit that bid. Just all day long. I think that there's a lot of guys that make a tremendous amount of money and profits in that 55 to $60 world. That we're a little fearful that you actually don't stay in that range. That there could be downward pressure on
because we're pumping 10.5 or 10.2 million barrels a day, the highest amount except for a few weeks and all the way back in 1970. And oil producers here in the States, well, great people, simply can't help themselves. They're going to take more and more out of the ground.
Well, they're getting really good at it, too. To give some perspective on it, just Q4, when the dust settles on the Q4 numbers, you're going to see oil production has risen 800,000 barrels a day sequentially in one quarter. I mean, it's insane. Put that in perspective, the OPEC cuts called for 1.2 million barrels from the OPEC member states. We just made up for 75% of that in one quarter here in the U.S.
Did you use the word insano?
Yeah, that's it.
That was pretty good. I hate to be nationalistic or doing so maybe I do. I mean, it's awesome, right? I mean, I know that the drillers can't help themselves, but it's pretty fantastic that the United States has gotten to this position, right? Brian highlights that you have to go back to the 70s. Back in the 70s, we decided to kill the oil sector with price controls, et cetera, and let the rest of the world take over. No more of that. I mean, this is really incredible.
I agree with you 100%. So one of the companies we love, Diamondback Energy, had their earnings today. They talked about their finding and development costs are now down to $9 a barrel. Throw in operating costs, maybe another $10. It only costs them about $20 all in. You're getting $60 a barrel. It's a 3-to-1 return on your money. They're making very good returns in this environment if you're one of these low-cost guys like a Diamondback.
They're under $20 all in, Mike, because we interviewed Scott Sheffield, the chairman now, former CEO of Pioneer. His son Brian runs Parsley Energy, too, some of the most respected guys out there. And I was trying to pin him on what their cost of production was, and I would say, can you make money at 30? He was like, the reverse price is right. 25, 20, and he's sort of winking at me, and we're kind of playing this dance. You think there's a lot of producers out there that are profitable under 20?
There's a good host of them. You're going to find them all in our little baby Saudi Arabia that's nestled out in West Texas, which is the Permian Basin. And, Diamondback, Parsley certainly in that camp, Pioneer's in that camp, Concho's in that camp, Cimarex.
And what was that number 5 years ago, that break-even point? I still in my head, I remember Saudi Arabia's got $5 barrels of oil in some cases.
5 years ago, we were at a conference and we said that break-even price for shale is $75, so we basically got laughed off stage. And now I think it's sub 40 for an all-in for a lot of these guys. So it's changing rapidly, and you're right. It's a great thing for our country.
Mike Kelly, Seaport, we appreciate it, Mike. We needed like a baby eagle with an American flag draped over it for that segment.
Like the anthem.
Thanks, guys.
All righty, Facebook investors tapping that.